What's going to 10x your mastering? So this one thing, it's not EQ, it's not dynamics, it's not limiting, it's not anything like that, it's not processing. Now, that is the fun stuff, isn't it? Now, that is the stuff that we all want to do, and it's like we think we're going to make a difference. Now, for years and years, that's all I used to do. I'd have everything in, I would be slapping this on, slapping that on, getting loads of different bits of equipment in, trying different plugins all the time. But that wasn't my problem. My problem was I couldn't hear what I was doing. The room sounded dreadful. And that's why I realised that the number one thing that has helped me more than anything, which is why I don't have masses of equipment anymore, I don't use loads and loads of plugins because I don't need them, because I realised that the secret to great mastering was having a room that I could hear what I was doing in. So what I do is I spend a lot of my time trying to get my room sounding better and trying to get it sound tighter and just getting used to the sound of the room, because for me that is the fundamental basic of getting a good sound. Now I need to know that when I make a half a dB tweak, because that's all I'm doing at mastering levels, 0.3 of a dB, I can hear what I'm doing. I can hear that change, because it was very easy for me before to add 1 or 2 dB at whatever place and I could only just hear it working, or I couldn't hear it working, so then I would add a bit more. So really you need to have your room so that it is absolutely as clean as a whistle. Now, if that means you need to use something like SonarWorks or Trinov or one of these other room correction devices to help you get there, because your room won't get there because just fundamentals, there's some fundamental problem with the room, then by all means you should use that. You should just try and get your room as flat as you can and try and get it. You're never going to get it flat. There's no such thing as a flat room, whatever anyone says. I've worked in £1,000,000 rooms and I've worked in shoe boxes, and they're probably as flat as each other. So it's more about moving the speakers, getting those in the right positions. It's about reflection points. It's about trying to get some bass sucked out of the room so that you don't get reflection where you're sitting in the room, the speaker positioning, all these things, having reflect your clouds over your head. It's about all these things, and about the size of the speakers in your room, all these little basic things that are super important so that you can hear what you're doing when you're mastering. And the key then is to try and do as little as you can when you're mastering. And the reason why you can do as little as you can when you master is because you can hear what you're doing. Now, I do far much less now, and I get far better results because I can hear what I'm doing. I've got speakers I can hear what I'm doing on. They're the right size for my room. The room's a perfect size for me. I've got it soundproofed out. I've got all my reflection points covered off. So for me, I can hear those little tweaks. I can hear those little things. I don't have to do major changes on stuff, and it gives me that massive 10x results compared to other people that are slapping loads of stuff on. They've got reflection points all over the place. There's things going all over the room. They can't really hear what's happening, so they just put stuff on because they hope that will sound good, or they've seen somewhere that someone does that and that's why they do it. They haven't actually listened for themselves and used their ears and made a decision whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, because a lot of the music then they've listened to on their speakers hasn't played back correctly. So even if they're referencing tracks from other artists, they're not really listening to them back in the right way. They can't hear the details in the mix as what the artist can hear. So it's okay, you can say, yeah, okay, I can get used to that. And it's like, yeah, you can get used to that, but that's just getting used to something that's rubbish. So if it's rubbish, then what you're going to put out is going to be rubbish. It's like you can get used to driving a really crap car, but it will never be a Ferrari. So you need to be upgrading all the time to get yourself to that level, and just to try and, tweak until you get to the point where you can start really hearing your speakers and hearing your room. So for me, that is the one fundamental thing that has helped me 10x my results and get a much better sounding record for people, and far fewer people returning and saying they want tweaks and they want changes and it wasn't right, or added too much bass or added too much top. You just get all of that when the room's not right, the speakers aren't right, and you're just throwing all the stuff on there in the vain hope that that tip or trick you've seen off somebody for an EQ or a compressor or whatever is gonna make you that big engineer. Well, it's not, unfortunately. Your room is. So get that right, and mark my words, you will do much better mixing, mastering, recording, everything. I hope that's helped you. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it's inspired you to get your room right and to really start listening to music in the right way so that you can then reproduce music in the right way. Please subscribe to this channel. Please go to streaky.com, sign up for my newsletter, which is the Audio Anoraks newsletter. You'll get discounts and giveaways of equipment and tips and tricks and things that I know and things that I see around the web. So go to streaky.com, sign up for the Audio Anoraks newsletter. Until next time, thanks for watching. Goodbye.